What's she doing?
Did you know about
Sit down, guys. We're doing this. So, Jack, we'll go from that end.
We'll go
to,
from alright.
Go from you because I think.
Oh, we're not going to say what movie we're reviewing.
Oh yeah.
We watched The Visit just like 2 minutes ago.
The most recent M Night.
No.
A recent M Night.
It's
Shyamalan.
an M Night Shyamalan film, so that's all you probably need to know, really.
And so he's not had a very good track record recently. I saw some of After Earth. I think we're all in agreement. After Earth.
It's pretty terrible.
So Jack.
Yes.
Do you wanna tell us what you
A
thought?
plot synopsis, or
Yeah, give us a plot synopsis.
2 kids get invited to go to their grandparents. Their estranged grandparents.
Who they've never met.
Yes.
Ever, because of reasons.
Because their mom ran away from home before she had them.
Yeah.
So they go over to their grandparents.
Who they've never met.
This is an important point.
They've never met the grandparents.
Never met
There are going to be spoilers
Never seen them.
all the way through this, by the way.
No,
Let me finish the plot synopsis.
No.
So yeah, they go and visit their grandparents, and then strange things start happening with and around their grandparents.
Yeah.
Until the end of the film, basically.
Yeah, yeah. The whole plot is they go to this house, their grandparents are doing weird things, but for some reason the mum can't see them over Skype because of some weird thing that's blocking the camera.
One of their grandparents.
The grandparents spilled cake mix on the camera or something?
Yeah, cake mix that you can't shift.
Yeah.
They can't move off it.
Or
Anyway.
even though they
off.
they just peel it off,
Yeah.
which they do later on in the film anyway, because
Yeah.
it's not on the camera anymore.
Yeah, and then the mum sees the grandparents.
Finally,
they're
towards
with
the end.
Towards the end, and she's like, oh, she's not actually your grandparent.
Here it is.
Those aren't your grandparents.
Hey!
I was right, and
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Maybe I
Yeah.
should have checked out these people before sending you to them.
Well, once you know, and also, how do the crazy people know to pick up the grandchildren?
I wonder if they did it like within the week. Like they knew what dates they were coming in.
Well,
They
the
did it
bodies
fairly
looked partially decomposed. They still had skin on them, didn't they?
recently. Okay, the movie wasn't the worst movie I've ever watched.
I didn't like it. It was... For me, it was just kind of terrible. It's really bad.
It had a lot of good things in it. They just none of them really worked together. And
None of
really
them paid off.
Basically, the movie to start off with is just cringe as fuck. Like it hurts me to watch it.
It starts with the smallest of the kids, the little boy rapping.
The little boy
That's-
raps, and you think, okay, he's having a bit of a rap, and that's just going to be a throwaway joke.
A throwaway joke.
No,
It comes...
several more times.
Keeps doing it,
And he's not even good.
He's not even good at it.
but he's not painfully bad. He's not funny.
It's just
in the way
cringy.
that he's bad.
It's just cringy.
No, yeah, that's the thing. He's not good, so it's like, oh yeah, it's alright, he's good, let's listen to him. He's not bad, and it's kind of like, he's bad. It's just like, you're just not good. Can you stop? It's just annoying more than anything.
I guess it's kind of realistic in the way that, like, you can kind of understand that he might do that and he might play up to the cameras a bit, but it's still annoying.
It's still annoying.
It's still annoying.
I'll let it go once. He can do it once. He's a little kid, sure. He probably wants to play up to the camera a little bit.
You can rap once.
Yes, you can rap once.
For anyone making a movie in the future, if you have a child in it, they can only rap once.
Don't
Only
let,
rap once.
or better yet, don't let kids in your movie. That'll be better.
There was some like really weird bits in the movie that didn't make any sense whatsoever. So there was this really weird bit where the girl was sitting down in front of the camera and her brother was apparently questioning her, and it was getting really dark and weird.
Yeah.
And it was actually wasn't her brother questioning her. It's like it was in her own head. But then they never said anything about that ever again.
See, I kind of enjoyed that bit because it was...
I didn't understand it though.
I didn't understand it, but it was a weird little... And nothing came of it, but I think it was on its own. I was thinking, I thought there was a more interesting film in there.
Yeah.
And I thought it played with certain kind of like Grimm's fairy tale tropes.
You saw, well, we kind of saw, well, I don't know how far you saw the twist coming, but I saw it.
Well, I kind of guessed it before the film. to some
Yeah.
extent.
I literally had no clue what this film was about until we put it on. I didn't even read the back of the cover. So
Did
for
you-
me, I wasn't. I was thinking maybe they're crazy, but I wasn't thinking maybe they're not the grandparents. What I was thinking is maybe their grandparents are crazy and they had to get looked after from the hospital. But I didn't think, oh, they're the crazy people our grandparents were looking after.
So,
Have fun editing this later.
I think that really got me.
I don't know. You guys do a bit.
Are you gonna
this
not-
film has really, like, shredded my brain apart because I was really wanting to like some of the
Really?
elements, and there are some weird little bits that kind of don't really come of anything, but
There's not enough payoffs in the film, is there?
Right.
Really?
sometimes I like things that kind of suggest towards things that are maybe kind of built upon a bit.
It has to be built upon and paid off, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, if there's no payoff, then what's the point? Unless I was going to
But
say...
it doesn't have to be a massive dramatic payoff.
It wasn't
No,
even that.
it
There
just-
was no payoff. As soon as
Almost-
you,
There
as soon
was. As soon as it did the payoffs to things,
It just got not scary anymore.
It just-
mostly.
yeah. When it was leaving things open ended,
it was
when
good.
it was doing the weird things with them creeping around at night and doing weird stuff, you kind of thought, well, you know, this is quite.
And then the jump scare started happening about halfway into the movie for no reason.
Mhm.
Well, it looks like it's going to become a jump scare movie.
Mhm.
It doesn't go full on jump scare horror.
No,
There's like
that's a
2 or
good
3.
thing. That's a good thing. It
I would say
never-
that's probably a good point. It doesn't try and go to the lowest
No.
point of horror and just jump scare all the time.
I just there was so many good bits of the movie, but none of them worked together, and it just didn't do what it should have delivered on.
No, I liked that it didn't feel generic. I mean, unless you consider that the plot twist was kind of, and this is, you know, like I said, spoiling it again, but the lunatics have taken over the asylum, it's that. But, you know, that's not enough of a thing.
Enough of a twist.
Mm.
Because that's really generic, but that's the only sense in which it is generic, which is kind of a good thing. But then it feels like it's gone so far to avoid
Being
things.
generic.
Yeah.
And then it's
And then
generic
it,
in
and
the
then
end.
it gives over to it in the end anyway. I feel like it'd be a better film.
If it just gave into it, and was
Kinda.
Like,
I feel like, or it just went the other way and became a very strange. Like maybe if they built it up slower, that they were a bit strange rather than just having.
because it like happened on the first night,
Because it just happens so
Quickly.
and then
Yeah,
always
because
waiting
you
for
can.
that to
At
pay
the
off
beginning of the
for
film,
movie.
when you first introduce them, they're a bit quiet and awkward.
Yeah.
So you think, if you've seen the trailers, which I've seen at least one,
Yeah.
you think maybe they start going, like, you know, a little bit crazy as time goes on and a little bit more crazy. No, they're almost completely crazy from the
The
outset.
first night, she was downstairs throwing up.
Yeah.
And that was quite creepy on its own.
Yeah.
That's a weird little moment.
And when she was chasing them underneath the house.
And that was
And
quite.
it didn't
yeah.
have a
good.
payoff. It just...
When you don't know what's
They
going
just
on.
shrugged it off, though. They're just like, oh, they're old people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, old people always try and eat me underneath
Yeah.
the house. It's fine.
Yeah.
Old people always just throw up randomly
It
on the
seems
floor.
like that was a bit... I would almost say that's a bit too early on in the movie.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
they established the whole hiding spot thing
Or
almost at the beginning, and then it's like, oh yeah, this happened.
They could have either done it much
then they
slower or
ramped up from there.
ramped it up like crazy. You know, like in the Babadook, what happens at the end of the Babadook?
Yeah.
It's kind of shriekingly, like hysterically kind of mad.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been like that, but the problem is, then I think ultimately it's all bound by the kind of found footage genre. And
And
although
that's-
it doesn't use a lot of the tropes of that, which I
No.
liked.
Although
it's
I do have a slight problem with it. Seems to be using almost not found footage editing. Like there's fades and there's like scenery shots,
Yeah.
which kind of takes me out of the movie.
But I wouldn't. I think the girl's character is sort of like a pretentious. She's a bit pretentious with the whole filmmaking thing, so I could kind of get that
guess.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought maybe that they could have gone just a little bit further with that. And also, it doesn't really match up with the fact that you end up with all these weird Dutch angles, and like they
Yeah.
just leave the camera somewhere. Whereas
for
you
no
know,
reason.
and if you have like a Stanley Kubrick wannabe, they're not just going to leave it there. They're gonna try and get some nice
Shots.
angles, get the nice lighting. Because I'm
a wannabe.
wannabe.
I'm a
Yeah.
wannabe, yeah. So I kind of like those elements in the film, but it
Wasn't done
doesn't
properly.
quite. I quite like her character, even though she's not fully.
Likeable.
And I like the guy when he's not rapping.
I
The
feel
little
like
kid,
the only thing I
yeah.
would say is I feel like it was like an old man sat in a room by himself writing characters for young children.
A bit, yeah.
That's what their characters.
It's
felt
hard
like.
to write kids, I think, because
Then
either you.
don't do it.
Yeah,
Because
or
I
if you're
think-
gonna do it, get kids in. I'm not saying get kids to write your thing, but like
Try and
you
get
know,
their input a bit.
or just like try and listen to how they talk, listen to how they speak, and then write about it.
She did say YOLO.
Yeah, and
She
he
did, yeah.
he fucking
which
said, what did he say? He said something halfway through, and I was like, he's using a slang term, and he's not even using it in the right way.
What
Was
is
it
it?
can't
hose,
remember what it was.
hose be tripping?
No, it wasn't that. It was somewhere like, I can't even remember now. It's going to annoy me. But he used it, and I was like, that's totally not what it means at all. Like, it just felt,
Artificial.
yeah,
I got that too.
Like old people writing it.
yeah.
Which
is
is funny
fun.
because the whole film was about old
Hmm.
people.
I thought. I don't think it had a very sympathetic view of
Old people.
or like
Or
mental illness.
No. Because it makes it seem like mental illness people are,
It was-
mentally ill people are murdering psychopaths. When they're not, they're just people with problems.
Yeah, well, you say that,
You
but
never empathise with the people.
you say that, but at the same
Guys.
time, you can't ignore the fact that there are mental people
No,
out
that's
there,
not
like-
what I'm
yeah.
saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's just
But they were in like an institution, and they can. There's even when you have like serial killers in films, there's usually a little bit of pathos, and you understand why they're like that. But we never really.
there's a
Yeah.
little bit.
Oh yeah, in this it was just like, oh yeah, they're crazy to kill
They-
people.
they're-
I
yeah.
do understand that.
Crazy old people.
See, yeah, they usually try and get a little bit of humanity, so maybe you could get a tiny bit of sympathy or something.
If you enjoyed the concept of this movie and you enjoyed that, like kind of like how it could have built up, and you like the idea of it, you should definitely watch Hide and Seek.
Hide and Seek, which I haven't seen.
It's got Robert De Niro in it. It's a brilliant movie, and to me, this movie feels like it was trying to be that,
Be that,
but it was a really awful version.
it just didn't get things right.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it is a really good movie, and I don't want to, like, even saying that it's similar to this movie is almost a spoiler, but you should definitely watch it, because after watching this movie, it's made me want to watch it again, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think this is a step up from some of M. Night's.
You mean like Avatar, Last Bender, and
Yeah.
After Death? And
Like I don't get why he does the twists.
because that's what he's famous for.
But
He did
why
ever
does-
since
why
Sixth
does
Sense.
he
He has
need
to have a twist because that's his thing for
But
some reason.
But he didn't even do it in a good way. At least in Sixth Sense, it was done in a pleasant, nice
Yeah, it was.
way.
It was a really.
That's like the
interesting twist.
spoiler for the generation, wasn't
Spoiler
it?
for Sixth Sense. Everyone's no. Bruce Willis is dead. at the
Dumbledore
end.
dies.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know that was
Bruce
like.
Willis kills Dumbledore at the end. That was so off on tangent.
This film has ruined my mind.
We need help, please. Send it
You
to
guys finish it.
Send a comment to the webzone www.com.
Oh, I have a nice thing to say. The old people actors were very good.
Yeah, they were.
They played their
Except
roles.
when they try and scream and be scary a bit.
What
like,
did she shout Yahtzee? Is that what the game was?
yeah, she fucking shouts Yahtzee
With biscuits all
with the
around
biscuits
her.
in her
Yeah.
mouth.
Those biscuits. I don't know if it was just me, but those biscuits look really weird.
They tease the girl going
Yeah.
into the other one like Hansel and Gretel, but they do it again and they never really pay it off.
She
'cause
shuts the door for like 2 seconds and then just
opens it. She doesn't even like try and turn on
She's
the
just
oven.
like,
and it comes-
ooh, just cleaning. I just opened the door again. Whoops! Like,
It's like it's not even like a proper like horror film payoff. Like she
No.
turns on the oven and suddenly it's a race to save
yeah.
the girl from being cooked alive.
That would have been alright. Especially if she did get cooked alive.
After this almost all these traumatic experience, he raps about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do it in
In
their
a post-credits sequence.
nice little clean bedroom where everything looks nice and dandy and everything's normal.
Yeah.
And they don't look mentally damaged like they should really be.
The
Or
best bit of the movie.
That ruins the film, I think. That's what really
ruined it.
murdered it.
What?
The,
the end?
the best,
Yeah,
the best
absolutely.
bit, the best bit of the movie was when they ran out of the house. That music started playing, and
was-
they saw
Yeah.
them up. That bit was probably the best bit of the movie, and if not that bit, the bit where they was underneath the house and she was running
I think after when they found out they're not the real grandparents and they tried to go out the door, and then they see the hanging person,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there it should have really escalated instead of slowed down. At that point, they should have really tried to kill them.
And then
right?
he just played Yahtzee. Okay, let's just give it a star rating and close this off because there's not really much more to say.
3. It was pretty bad.
What do you think,
Out
Tom?
of 10.
Out of
5.
average, really.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say 4 earlier, but I think I would say 5 now. I don't think it was irredeemable. I think they had a good premise. They just didn't execute it properly.
Alright.
Yeah. So
Wasted potential.
Yeah, basically. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but
my
it had a
3
lot of
is
stuff back with it.
below average, or really below average.
Mhm.
So
For me, 5 is like
5's
Below-
quite bad.
yeah.
But
If anything below 5 is bad to me. Like
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9. Then that's your okay. You
Yeah.
should go and see this sort of things.
I think it's if you want to see a film that doesn't it uses a bunch of genre tropes, but you never quite know where it's going, and it messes it all up at the end. But there's some interesting stuff in it.
this is the film for you.
Review this film with your
I don't know
face.
when
Do
Review
that.
this film with your
You're
face.
just using your face.
Like a constipated shit. It never quite comes out
Yeah,
when I
so
want it to.
This is my review.
Sorry?
This film is making me cry.
No, why?